Always Room for One More by Sorche Leodhas, illustrated by Nonni. This story is also a Caldecott Medal Award winner. There are some words and phrases in this story that you may not be familiar with. It's a Scottish story, and I'm sorry if I could be pronouncing words incorrectly also. But I will let you know, listen to some of the words. This phrase, a bit o' butt and a ben. A bit o' a butt and a ben is a big room and a little room. Bairns are children. Bray is a grassy hillside. Comeawa in is the way the Scots would say, come on in. Gallowglass is a mercenary soldier who would hire himself out. A clappet is a loud noise. Canny means here sly or wary or wise. Dinged down means tumble down or banged down. Gawked is staring at something in a silly fashion. We use the word gawk. Grumpety grouse is being used here as a person who's looking sullen, head down, just feeling kind of blue. Blether is foolish talk, and och is the Scottish way of saying oh. I hope you enjoy the story. Always room for one more. There was a wee house in the heather. 'Twas a bit o' a butt and a ben, and in it there lived all together Lauchie McLaughlin and his good wife and his bairns to the number of 10. There's a fire on the hearthstone to warm me, and porridge to spare in the pot. Said Lackey, the weather is stormy, so me and my wife and our 10 bairns will be sharing whatever we got. So he hailed every traveller that passed by his door. Said Lauchie McLaughlin, there's room galore. Och, come awa in, there's room for one more, always room for one more. A tinker came first, then a tailor, and a sailor with line and lead, a gallowglass and a fishing lass, with a creel o' fish on her head, a merry auld wife full of banter, 4 peat cutters up from the bog, piping Rory the ranter, and a shepherd laddie down from the brae, with his canny wee shepherd dog. He hailed them all in as he stood at the door. Said Lauchie McLaughlin, there's room galore. Och, come awa in, there's room for one more, always room for one more. Rory's pipes set the rafters a-ringing, till the clock danced a reel on the shelf, and they all fell to dancing and singing, and the little dark dog danced by himself. Ach, the walls, oh, they bulged out and bulged in then, the walls they bulged in and out. There will never be heard such a din then, as came from the folks in the wee little house, while they rollicked and frolicked about. They filled all the house up from the door to door, but Lauchie cried out, there's room galore. 'Twould be a tight fit, but there's room for one more. Always room for one more. Then the rafters they clappit like thunder, and folks in the nearby town stood stock still to listen and wonder, when the wee little house, with its butt and its ben, and its walls and its roof dinged down. Then the tinker and the tailor and the sailor with line and lead, the gallowglass and the fishing lass with the creel of fish on her head, the auld wife full of banter, the 4 peat cutters up from the bog, piping Rory the ranter, and the shepherd laddie down from the brae, with his canny wee shepherd dog, and Lauchie McLaughlin, his good wife and his bairns to the number of 10, they all tumbled out again. And they gawked at the place where the house stood before. Och, Lauchie, they cried, there was room galore, but worry and woe, there's no room no more, never no room no more. They wailed for a while in the heather, as glum as a grumpety grouse. Then they shouted, have done with this blether, For Lackey McLaughlin, his wife and bairns, will raise up a bonny new house. The house that they raised from the auld one was double as wide and as high. Should an army come by, it could hold one, with Lackey McLaughlin, his wife and bairns, and whoever else happened by. And then the whole lot of them stood at the door and merrily shouted, "There's room galore! Now there will always be room for one more, always room for one more." The end. Always Room for One More by Sorche Leodhas.